So you're moving to Warrensburg or you're PCSing to Whiteman and you don't know if you should live in Warrensburg or Knob Noster. I can help you with that. Today, we are going to compare Warrensburg versus Knob Noster, Missouri. Stay tuned. And don't forget to like and subscribe right down below because I make a new video every single week all about eating, breathing, sleeping, drinking in Warrensburg, Missouri, near Whiteman Air Force Base, and you're gonna wanna get notified. Also, my contact information is right down below. So if you have any questions, if you're coming here and you wanna reach out and be like, hey, where should I go to get milkshakes? Don't worry, I got you covered. Shoot me a text. Talk to you soon. Hey everyone, Eva Norton here with Next Door Agents. Today, we're gonna talk about what is the difference between Warrensburg and Knob Noster. We're just gonna kind of compare and contrast, and I get a lot of people calling me, asking me, well, where should I live? Should I live in Warrensburg or should I live in Knob Noster? And there's a lot of different factors where it's really like, well, it just depends on what you prefer. So, today, we're gonna break down the main differences between these two little towns. Both are great, both are different. Let's jump into it. So Warrensburg is a smaller city about an hour southeast of Kansas City with a population of around 19,000 people. And that number fluctuates depending upon when school's in session because there is the University of Central Missouri in Warrensburg. So it fluctuates, but it's around 19,000 people. The town itself was founded in 1836, and I actually have a whole video about the history of Warrensburg if you want to check it out. It's pretty cool. Knob Noster, on the other hand, is an even smaller town about 15 minutes away from Warrensburg towards St. Louis, and it is the little town right next to Whiteman Air Force Base. It has a population of around 2,900 people, and that's pretty solid. It's located in both Johnson and Pettis counties. And the city of Knob Noster was named after a local area called Nob Hill and was founded in 1871. So Warrensburg is definitely larger than Knob Noster, but it still has that small town feel. So it's smaller in the sense of you'll go to the grocery store, you'll go to Walmart, you'll go to downtown or the coffee shop, and you will see people that you know. But it's big enough to not feel like, oh, I'm stuck in a small town. There's nothing to do. There's tons to do in Warrensburg. Knob Noster is definitely a small town. So there's one little downtown area and there's not much else, but it's also a great town. It just has more of a country feel. So it really depends on what you're looking for and if you care about driving 15 minutes to a grocery store or not. Because for example, the closest big grocery store is in Warrensburg. Let's talk about points of interest in Warrensburg versus Knob Noster. So in Warrensburg, you have a lot more historical buildings. So you have like the Johnson County Historical Society, they have a museum there. They have a walking tour showing all the different historical areas. We have the courthouse and there's a lot of functions around the courthouse on that square. We have, oh gosh, I do videos on them. We have Bergfest, we have Warrensburg Farmers Market, we have lots of parades, lots of get-togethers through Warrensburg Main Street. So there's a bigger community activity feel versus Knob Noster. We also have 9 different parks. We have lots of parks. We have Purtle Springs and quite a few lakes, which is really cool. We have Lions Lake, Purtle Springs. We have lakes in some of the smaller subdivisions. And we actually also have a disc golf course. I recently found this out. I've not been an avid disc golf player, but it looks pretty awesome. It looks really fun, actually. I'm gonna have to check that out. We also have quite a few restaurants like Fitters, Heroes, Old Barney's, Players. We have lots of different types of food from pho to Mexican to Thai food. So there's a little more variety of cuisine in places to go in Warrensburg versus Knob Noster. So Knob Noster is a smaller city than Warrensburg, but you still have some great places to go. There is the one and only Coffee Snobs, which is an amazing, amazing coffee shop. They make all their own syrups and pastries and stuff, and it's delicious. You have a Thai food restaurant there, you have a barbecue restaurant, you have a tap room, you have lots of cute little antique stores. There's a Myers Market in Knob. So there are small, really cute places to go in Knob Noster. There's also Knob Noster State Park, which is just gorgeous and giant. I love taking my kids out there hiking. There's fishing, there's playgrounds. It's just a great place to go. And there's Whiteman. So if you are in the Air Force or working at Whiteman, it's boop, right there. And Knob does have community events also. They have a open air market on the weekends, most weekends when it's nice. And then they have the Knob Noster Fair, which is in August. And I mean, food vendors, carnival rides, it's a great time. So it is a really great, Knob Noster is a great community. It's just smaller and more rural than Warrensburg. So it really depends on where you want to live, what type of community you want to live in. Moving on, let's talk about cost of living in Warrensburg versus Knob Noster. So Warrensburg is known, in Knob Noster as well, for its affordability. The cost of living is lower than the national average by quite a few points, so it's affordable to live there. You can find a nice mid-size starter home anywhere from about $115,000 to $130,000, all the way up to $700,000. Not really a starter home, those are giant McMansions. But there's all different varieties of houses to choose from. Warrensburg, the market in Warrensburg is very, very competitive. And you are going to possibly have to put a little more effort, find a really good real estate agent who can jump in and get you a great deal on a house, just because there's the university and there is Whiteman Air Force Base, and Warrensburg being the larger city with more amenities, people tend to want to live in Warrensburg versus Knob. So the housing market is very competitive. The median home price in Warrensburg is $135,000, which is much lower than national median home price in the United States, which is $280,000. So the cost of living in Warrensburg is actually 12% below the national average. So there you go. Let's talk about Knob now. So the houses in Knob, for the most part, you can actually buy a larger home for less money in Knob Noster. And that's just because the demand is more for Warrensburg versus Knob. In Knob, you have to really be willing to drive if you want to go to more restaurants or grocery stores or anything like that. But you can find a great deal on a house in Knob Noster for less money than in Warrensburg. There are actually some really beautiful, amazing subdivisions coming up right now in Knob Noster outside of Whiteman Air Force Base. I've actually talked about them in some previous videos, and they are just gorgeous wooded areas, and they're beautiful. There's also some more cookie cutter type homes that are being built in subdivisions, which are more affordable. So there's just more housing options for everyone, which is awesome. So whether you choose to buy a house in Warrensburg or Knob Noster, you're going to get a great deal versus anywhere else in the United States. But just know coming into it that if you're gonna buy in Warrensburg, it's gonna be a little more competitive. You will probably have to be more competitive with your offer, especially if you're in the between $150,000 and $250,000. That's like the sweet spot here. And everyone wants that house, so it can be competitive. When you go a little bit higher, between $250,000 and $450,000, you have a little more breathing room and you can negotiate more. In Knob Noster, you'll have a little more time, you'll have a little more housing options, but honestly, the same thing, that $150,000 to $250,000 house range, it's just competitive, and you gotta go in there with guns blazing. Let's talk about education and school districts. So the Warrensburg School District is pretty large. I mean, I say that, it's not large compared to like Kansas City or St. Louis, but we think it's mighty. It's larger than Knob Noster, and there are about 3,000 students enrolled in the Warrensburg School District. And if you've watched any of my previous videos, we have multiple elementary schools, middle school, and high school. And then there are a couple private schools. So we have a lot of schools to choose from, and they're all really great. Knob Noster, the school district, is about half the size. There's about 1,200 students enrolled in the Knob Noster School District, and they have an elementary school, a middle school, and high school. Both schools have a really strong academic record, with high school graduates with above national average test scores, so that's awesome. However, the Warrensburg School District has received a super awesome acclaim, and that is They were named a Missouri Gold Star School District in 2020, which is awesome. The district also offers a variety of advanced placement classes so high school students can really get a head start on college or their future career. I will step in and say though, Knob Noster just recently received a very large grant to build a new high school, and that is super exciting because it's going to be gorgeous and amazing. When it comes to extracurricular activities, both school districts have quite a lot going for them. Warrensburg has a really great robotics program, great sports programs. Many of its teams are very successful and have won lots of awards. Now, Knob Noster is smaller, and so when it comes to their sports teams and stuff like that, they're not as acclaimed, but they are also amazing. And with their high school test scores, they're also above average. Basically, what I'm saying is both school districts are fantastic. The teachers are amazing, they really care about their students, and in both school districts, they go out of their way to help all children succeed. That's what I really love about small town schools, is that you really get a more one-on-one personalized experience with teachers. I know the teachers that are teaching my children. I see them in the community, I support them, I do everything I can to help them be successful with our children because, you know, that's the future right there. It's so cheesy, but true. And talking about education, I can't forget to add that the University of Central Missouri is in Warrensburg. So it's pretty awesome that I know the Warrensburg School District, UCM allows them to use some of their facilities, like their library and stuff like that. So having all of that knowledge and all of those people and experience right next door is awesome. And if your kids go to school and you want to go back to college and earn another degree or just take a class, I've literally just taken a painting class on campus. Not that I'm a painter or want to be a painter, it just looked fun, and it was. So lots of educational options, even for adults. When it comes to community and culture, so really, both Warrensburg and Knob Noster have very diverse communities. I think it's probably easy to say that a lot of that has to do with Whiteman Air Force Base, where you get people from all over the country coming, all over the world actually, coming and working and living and staying here. And also the University of Central Missouri. We have people from all over the country and all over the world. We have international students, a very large international program. So in both Warrensburg and Knob Noster, we have a really diverse community, and that's awesome. And that's something that you don't necessarily see in a lot of small towns. And I think that is one reason why both of our towns are so great, is because there's so many different political views and religious views and just different types of people all coming together and working together and becoming friends, and it really broadens people's horizons. And a side effect of that is we have lots of really cool community events that are focused around different cultures. I know the University of Central Missouri puts on quite a few, about 3 or 4 different giant events every year that focus around different cultures from all around the world because we have such a large international population. And then we have a bunch of different fairs. I mean, we're in the Midwest. We love our fairs, we love our corn dogs, we love our funnel cakes. So if there's an excuse to have a fair and have a big party, we'll do it. Both Warrensburg and Knob Noster hold quite a few social community events. Warrensburg more than Knob just because we're a bigger town and have more funding. So we come to the question, do you want to live in Warrensburg or Knob Noster? Honestly, it depends on what type of community you're looking for, in the sense of, do you want something a little more laid back and more rural? You're looking at Knob Noster. If you want something a little larger, now this is still small town we're talking about, but something a little larger where you have a few more options, you're looking at Warrensburg. You could find a larger house for less money in Knob. You'll pay more for your house in Warrensburg. It just depends upon, do you want to, if you're working at the Air Force Base, do you want to drive 12 minutes or 2? Do you care if you have to get up and drive to Warrensburg to go to the movie theater, or to go shoe shopping, or to go to Sonic? Oh, no, there's a Sonic in Knob Noster, but you know what I'm saying, to the grocery store. So it really depends on what amenities you're willing to trade for what type of small town feel do you want. Do you want a small town or small town? Anyway, I hope that this maybe has shed a little bit of light about the 2 different communities and maybe helped you in your decision. We shall see. Don't forget to like and subscribe right down below because I make a new video every single week all about eating, breathing, sleeping, drinking, driving, not together, separately, in Warrensburg, Missouri. And you're gonna wanna get notified. And my contact information is right down below. Do not hesitate to reach out if you have any questions, email me, text me, call me. I talked to someone who's stationed in Germany last week and they are coming here and they needed help finding a house and I said, absolutely, I would love to help you. And I told them all about some really great loan programs that will help save them on closing costs. So that's wonderful. Anyway, I digress. If you're coming here, got a question, reach out. Love talking to you. Bye.